The Honorable Robert Montego, standing at the helm of the Ministry of Transport and Mining, loaded the ministry's bus and drove it to a prosperous and successful 2019. Last year saw Cabinet's approval of having video surveillance on road networks across the island. This was then followed by Cabinet giving the green light for the private sector to partner with government to implement video enforcement technology on our roadways.
Efforts are being made to ensure that the requisite roadside objects are strategically placed on the network to ensure the best chances of survival should a traffic accident occur.
And the way was then paved for 700 traffic cameras to be installed in specific parishes. But that was only the beginning. New applicants for public passenger licenses are now required to have an electronic fleet management system on their vehicles, whereas existing holders of public passenger licenses will have until April 1 of next year to get the GPS tracker. The public transportation system was further enhanced through a contract signed between the Jamaica Urban Transit Company and El Hydro Company to help reduce JUTC's oil bill. And the Transport Ministry's Road Safety Unit is now equipped with 5 portable breathalyzers, valued at $2,500.
Every life we save on the road is worth every investment that we would have.
So the transport system was now tailored to make Jamaica the place of choice to live. It was now time to have all that replicated on improved infrastructure, such as our roadways. Road improvements took place throughout the urban and rural corners of the island.
And so, as the days and the weeks are ticked off, rest assured that persons will start to not only see, but feel the benefits of the improved works that we have done.
So there was land, but much attention was also given to transportation by sea. The nation's bunkering industry is now able to supply ships with LNG fuel, following New Fortress's investment in the industry.
And we are open for business. Bunkering creates some 900 direct high-paying jobs in Jamaica and approximately 3,000 indirect jobs. So it is vital to our economy.
Legislation to create a regulatory framework for facilitating the licensing of bunker operators and their vessels went through the final stages of the parliamentary process in 2019. A pathway was created for a reduction of the sulfur content in the island's marine fuel from 3% to 0.5%.
Jamaica is on the leading edge of getting that fuel out there. So it is estimated that if we can get 10% of the business of the amount of ships that come to the Panama Canal, we can earn upwards of $3 billion as a firm.
And from the sea to air. In 2019, the Transport Ministry gave a propulsive force to the island's aviation sector. Ordinary Jamaicans now have the opportunity to travel by plane from one section of the island to another, as scheduled domestic flights are now available between the Ian Fleming International Airport in St. Mary and the Sangster International Airport and aerodromes in Montego Bay.
These scheduled domestic flights mark a new and historic day in general aviation in Jamaica.
Last year, Jamaica also formally signed an air service agreement to facilitate direct flights from South Africa to the Norman Manley International Airport. And more flights were rolling in from Orlando, as Spirit Airlines introduced non-stop flights between the Orlando International Airport in the United States and Jamaica.
It is going to open up trading links, it is going to open up tourism, it is going to open up study, it is going to open up travel.
And there was more. Government also handed over the management of the Norman Manley International Airport to Grupo Aeroportuario del Pacifico, GAP. Under the agreement, GAP is responsible for improving the airport's land and air operational efficiency as well as financing. And the NMIA became authorized to conduct aerodrome operations.
It says that the entity has met the requirements of civil aviation regulations and the conditions prescribed thereunder for the issuance of the certificate and is hereby authorized to conduct aerodrome operations.
The Ian Fleming International Airport received an airport rescue and firefighting vehicle to assist with its emergency response program, while the Tinson Pen Aerodrome received its very own pilot lounge, valued at $1.5 million. In 2019, the GISCO-owned alumina refinery in Nain, St. Elizabeth experienced modernization and expansion works.
I wish to remind this House and the people of Jamaica that the modernization and expansion program will be one of the largest investments in the history of this country. Total investment is projected at $1.1 billion when fully completed.
Also, the United States government moved to lift the sanctions imposed on UC Rosal, the majority owner of the Windalco bauxite plant in St. Catherine. Following this, entities in Jamaica can now freely do business with Windalco without the threat of sanctions.
This, Mr. Speaker, is positive news for the government and people of Jamaica. It is positive news for Windalco and its over 1,000 employees who had faced an uncertain future when the sanctions were initially announced. It is positive news for Jamaican companies and individuals that conduct business with Windalco. It is indeed positive news for the economy.
In addition, the Mining Ministry's Quarry Advisory Committee has extended the quarry license for land mining operators from 1 year to up to 10 years.
So that we are making the changes and the government is in full support of the mining sector.
And the ministry partnered with mining company Geophysics Jamaica Limited to update the island's geological maps to allow new and potential mining investors to better search for minerals. So that was 2019 for the Ministry of Transport and Mining. And now we look to the year ahead.
Okay, folks. Thank you for your cooperation. Your bus drive is over.